The Dallas Mavericks made the first big splash of deadline week by trading for Kyrie Irving only a couple of days after the polarizing point guard asked out of Brooklyn. But that splash may simply be the sound of a drowning team's flailing limbs. There's some reason for excitement around the new-look Mavericks, but it will likely be short-lived. Because although the Mavs may have been trying to keep Luka Doncic happy with this move, the truth is that they probably just started the clock ticking on his eventual departure. The Mavs arrived at this inflection point after years of spotty asset management in their attempts to build around Doncic. Kristaps Porzingis, their first big bet, wasn't the right fit for Doncic's pick-and-roll wizardry when Dallas moved multiple players and first-round picks for the big man back in 2019. Though in fairness, the trade was perfectly defensible, and the Mavs also landed Tim Hardaway Jr. A few years later, Porzingis was sent to Washington for a package that included Spencer Dinwiddie. And less than a year after that, Dinwiddie was then part of the outgoing package that secured the Mavs' Irving's services. Now, in a vacuum, not a bad sequence of business, but that path from Porzingis to Kyrie ignores the elephant in the room. At the same time, Dallas undervalued Jalen Brunson and failed to capitalize on the chance to extend the rising guard for only $55.5 million over 4 years. By the time Brunson started really balling out during the 2021-22 season, it was Brunson who understandably wanted no part of such a team-friendly deal, and already had eyes on the Big Apple. Fast forward to the summer of 2022, and Brunson departed Dallas for New York via free agency. In other words, the Mavs lost their second best player and Doncic's most dependable teammate for nothing, in his mid-20s. That left Doncic with an even greater offensive burden than the one he was already shouldering, left the Mavs in desperate need of another ball handler and playmaker, and ultimately led the team to take a chance on the NBA's most unpredictable and disruptive superstar. That said, Irving is the best player Doncic has played with as a Maverick, and is by far the most talented player Dallas could have hoped to acquire given the limited avenues the Mavs had to meaningfully improve. All that aforementioned wheeling and dealing left the team short on trade chips only 1 year into Doncic's supermax extension. On the offensive end, while Luka and Kyrie taking turns may not be the most aesthetically pleasing brand of ball, the upside is nuts. Two of the game's greatest offensive talents playing together will cause nightmares for opposing defenses, especially given the playmaking abilities of each star, and the fact Irving's shooting makes him a terrifying off-ball threat hovering around Doncic's gravitational pull. Plus, Christian Wood's combination of shooting, low-post play, and pick-and-roll effectiveness makes him the perfect offensive big man to complete this trio. But there are glaring defensive concerns that could easily offset that offensive boost. Dallas already ranked 24th in defensive efficiency before trading its best defensive player in Dorian Finney-Smith to acquire Kyrie, whose defense at the point of attack ranges from average at best to downright disinterested. And remember, only 2 teams in history have won an NBA championship with a below-average defense. More minutes for third-year swingman Josh Green and the return of injured big man Maxi Kleber should help. But Dallas's best lineups will feature Doncic, Irving, and Wood, which almost surely leaves them far too weak defensively. And that dubious on-court formula doesn't even account for the fact that the Mavs just tied their championship aspirations to a guy who brings more off-court drama than teams can realistically survive.
It's always something when you, isn't it?
Adding Kyrie to the mix is like throwing a stick of dynamite on your franchise. Irving's talent is undeniable, but you do not want to be the team whose title hopes depend on his availability. The famed flat earther has missed nearly a third of his team's playoff games over the course of his career. In the 4 years since joining the Nets, Kyrie sat out roughly half of Brooklyn's regular season games due to injuries, an unexcused personal absence, vaccine mandates, and a suspension tied to the promotion of an anti-Semitic film. And none of that even touches on the fact that earlier this season, Irving shared decades-old content from Alex Jones, while Jones faced a massive lawsuit stemming from the promotion of a separate conspiracy theory that the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting was staged. That the Mavs chose to spend what little asset capital they had left in order to land a star so chaotic reeks of desperation, and perhaps hints at Doncic's restlessness.
Well, did it work for those people?
No, it never does. But it might work for us.
At this point, I'm not sure what would be worse. Irving leaving as a free agent this summer and Dallas losing him for nothing after spending said assets on him, or the Mavs committing long-term money to the most unreliable star in league history. That would leave the team capped out and all in on the Doncic-Irving duo, with Green, Jaden Hardy, and more draft picks serving as its best trade chips. But whatever happens in the immediate future, no matter how good Kyrie and the Mavs might look in the coming weeks and even months, chances are Dallas won't be good enough to win it all, Irving will rot things from the inside, an already precarious situation will only get worse, and at some point in the next few years, Doncic will join the long list of NBA superstars who forced their way out of town. I know the Mavs are desperate, but Dallas is about to learn the hard way that the chances Kyrie Irving rewards your faith in him are about as good as the chances he'll fall off the edge of the earth.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.